What's up, guys? It's Rahul from the Chaos Gym, and today we are going to be talking about my Fort Wayne Regionals report. And we're going to be talking about there's a bug in my room. My Turbo Turtonator deck. If you're wondering why I sound like this, I got kind of sick at Fort Wayne. I don't know what happened. I don't know where I got sick or why I got sick, but I am sick. I've been feeling like hell for the past couple days. Oh, good lord. And Hurricane Irma's on its way through soon, so we've done all our prep. We'll be alright over here, hopefully in Orlando. But this will probably be my last video for a little bit, just so all that gets cleared up. Sorry, a lot of stuff going on in life. I know I promised to make more content, but it just hasn't been working out the way I'd like it to. I've been taking 6 classes in school, blah, 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 all that. Excuses, really. But here's the Turbo Turtonator deck. So as you guys might know, this is the deck that Sam Chen got second with. But other than that, myself, Ryan, and Kyle Sabelhaus and Michael Slutsky all played it. Basically what happened leading up to the week of Fort Wayne was I was looking at all my options for decks, and I had resigned myself to letting Ryan tell me what to play, because that's usually what happens. I don't know what to play. We get to the night of, Ryan will tell me what to play, and we'll move from there. But Ryan's preoccupied with work and stuff, so he hasn't had too much time to test, and he's been putting his time into this like weird Lycanroc Landorus deck. And so I started talking to Michael Slutsky, who's had a lot of time to test outside of this event, because he didn't come to Worlds, he didn't make it there, blah, 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 all that. And he's been testing a Galissapod deck as well as a Water Box deck. And while we're talking about both those decks, I asked him about that quad turtonator type of thing I sent to his friend Kid Stark a couple months ago for an expanded League Cup. That I just kind of like was talking to a friend. He's like, "Oh, I have this like just expanded list. It might not be good," and so I just took it and threw it there. So he sent it back, and I threw together the preliminary list, and then I started testing a couple games with it, and so did Michael Slutsky. And as I played games, I think I changed a bunch of cards here and there just to make the deck more consistent. Just seeing things I wanted, like the Acerola was something I wanted. The Kiawe is something I added. Karen for the 9 March matchup. Blower because that card was going to be there in big numbers. The Ho-Oh, that kind of thing. Just like small changes over time started happening. And I probably played like 30 to 40 games with it. A bunch on PTCGO ladder. I played a couple BO3s with Ryan, smashing any deck that he laid in front of me. Turbo Dark, Landorus, Night March, everything. I played a couple games with Slutsky, played a couple games with Regan Retzloff. He won NAIC in juniors, so he's pretty good. He wanted to test his Mega Man deck against me, which was a pretty good matchup for me if you didn't know. So I was able to play a couple games with everybody. Get a feel for the deck, and I was pretty confident this is the deck I'd be playing unless somebody laid down some serious spice in front of me the night before, and I was swayed. So I showed up with literally just this deck built, and no other expanded decks built, mostly because I don't have that many other expanded cards. I'll explain, I guess, some of the deck choices before we get into the event experience. 2 Shaman. I thought that it was going to be important to dig for steam ups, get through the deck in the early game, find Blacksmith Kiawe turn 1 if I needed it. 1 Ho-Oh. It really makes your Turbo Dark matchup pretty good. And in the mirror match, once you've exhausted each other's like blowing up the Volcanion X's, you can come up with a Ho-Oh, take a knockout, and end, hopefully. It's just also like a niche thing for doing the 50 snipe if you need to, that kind of thing. 3 Turtonators. The focus of the deck was Turtonator GX, because the Bright Flame attack, it does 160 damage. Paired with the Muscle Band, it does 180. Trap Shell also with Steam Ups. Like, it's just a lot of damage, and Nitro Tank's just an insane GX attack when everybody's just doing things so fast and expanded that you can just end somebody down low, Nitro Tank, and suddenly you've got 2 fully set up attackers ready to go. 2 Baby Volcanions, just because you don't want to get away from the basic part of the deck. You want to have a 1 prize attacker. You want to be able to set up consistently and do some damage if you need to. 1 Lele, because you don't really need to use Lele at all, ever in the matchup, anything, but like if you need to go find like one of these 6 1-up supporters, or like a turn 1 Sycamore, like you can do that, like go for it, you know. 3 Volcanion X, because you still want the steam abilities, and Volcanic Heat's still pretty good. 2 Battle Compressor, just get stuff from the discard, early blacksmiths, get your one-of supporters into the discard to play with. Comp search, early game as opposed to late game. Dowsing can also be replaced. One blower, really, really needed for the Garbodor matchup. Fury Belts are kind of annoying, so gotta deal with both things. 4/4, pretty standard. 4 Scorched Earth. 3 Scorched Earth, pretty standard. I wanted to have a stadium that lets you draw through the deck under item lock. And most decks don't play 3 stadiums and expanded because you don't have the space for it. So once you get to your 3rd Scorched Earth, it'll always stick. And item lock was never an issue. Like, even Toad decks were pretty easy because you could just dig through your deck and find the Blacksmiths, find the Acerola, find the Kiawe. One Acerola, I had it at AZ originally, but Ryan talked me into late game if you had to pick up something and reuse it for steam ups. And he did have a point, so we switched to Acerola. 3 Blacksmith, I had 4 originally, but was a little overkill. 1 Chorus, 1 Guzma, Karen for Night March, Kiawe, and blah blah blah. And the Muscle Band, that's what everybody was really curious about. My explanation is 160 plus 20 under Hex Lock against Darkrai, or Lab Lock is 180 for a knockout. 20 plus 20, Trap Shell, 40 kills a Joltik. 20 plus 20 plus 1 Steama, because 70 kills a Trubbish or anything else that has 70 or less HP. Putting you in a pretty good position in that matchup, because return KOs on you would do a lot more damage to them. Sorry. And then the 100 plus 20 on the Baby Volcania to deal with Garbodors. So anyway, let's jump into what happened. We get there. Nothing has really changed in my mind about what I'm going to play. With around 6 p.m., I play a couple games with Frank, who's playing a Garbodor Toolbox type of deck, and I realize that's what a lot of people are thinking about, Garbodor Toolbox type of decks, and I like 6-1 him. It's just brutal. The one game I lost is because I went down to 1 prize without setting up my board recklessly, and then he ended me down to 1, and his Garbotoxin stuck, and I had a Scorched Earth in play, but I couldn't draw fires, ironically enough. So yeah, I was confident in the deck choice. I didn't have a chance to test with Ryan because he didn't get into like 1:30, and when he got in, we started messaging back and forth, and he wanted to play Vespiquen, but he didn't have a list, so we talked it out. I told him I was going to play this. I didn't have time to change. He committed to it as well. Kyle committed to it, and then Michael Slutsky committed to it. The morning of, in the line of Starbucks, as we're getting breakfast, Sam, Chen, and I started talking about decks, and he's about to play Garbodor Dramp, I think. And he looks at my deck and then goes, "Can I play this?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And there's 40 minutes left till we have to turn in decks. And he starts freaking out and writing his deck list. I got him his food, all that, and then he miraculously gets all the cards he needs for the deck in time. And we turn in the deck, and now there's 5 of us playing the Turtle Army. I think Slutsky's friend Carl. I'm so sick. So the tournament starts. I'm pretty confident in the matchup spread. I hope I'm hitting Turbo Darks, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Round 1, I hit... What did I hit round 1? I had Gardevoir GX. Matchup is not great, but game 1, he struggles to set up, and I pop off, and I destroy his board. Game 2, he also struggles to set up, and I donk him. He has a lone Ralts, and I just kill it, and the game's over. And then game 2, I go up against Christopher Szymanski on the backup stream. He's playing Espeon Garbodor. Game 1, I have game for a bajillion turns. I just prized both muscle bands that I needed to win the game because he has the Garbotoxin, and my Fill Blower is gone. So I lose because of that. Game 2, I beat him convincingly. In game 3, I have to Sycamore away 3 VS here early, thus leaving him with the ability to just Garbodor attack me for the rest of the game. Normally, you don't discard that many items because there aren't that many items, but I was put in an unfortunate situation where I had to discard items. So I lost that very, very close series. Round 3, I go up against... I don't remember, but I think it was an easy matchup because I got out of that very quickly. It might have been Night March. Round 4, I go up against Israel Sosa on the mainstream, playing his Evital Toad deck, and neither game I could get set up, and he just has everything he needs and rolls me. So I'm down to 2-2. I need to win out. It's a scary place to be, but then I stumble into my... I play against Vigabulu round 5, and then I pretty much roll him because he doesn't really... I one-shot him better than he one-shots me. If that makes sense. Yeah. I also take the first knockout, all the time. Every single game, I'm taking the first knockout. Round 6, I go up against my first Golisopod Garb. Man, it's easy. Oh my god, Golisopod's a free matchup. There's a lot of Golisopods. I just managed to only hit 1, or 2, I guess, technically, today. So 4-2, I go up to 7-2. round 7. I'm up against a Mega Gardevoir GX. No, EX, sorry. Matchup's just awful, awful, awful for him because I can use Trap Shell and he can't really max push it off. Even if he hexes me, I can just one-shot him. He doesn't really have a one-shot potential back at me. So I just roll him. I go to 5-2. Round 6 or 8, I go up against Toad, Glissapod. It's a little scarier. He takes me to a game 3 because game 2 he gets a Quaking Punch, Verbank Laser to stick, and I can't really do anything. But the first and third game, I just absolutely roll him because I just get one extra turn to do stuff, and I set up, and I have, like, Blacksmith going, I have Nitro Tank going, he just can't deal with my Muscle Bands, he can't deal with my Steam Ups, and I'm just destroying him. So I go to 6-2, I'm on my winning end now, and it's just an exhilarating feeling. It doesn't matter how many times I've been there, it's just a nerve-wracking experience. I go up against Brian Hunter, he and I are playing Volcanion Mirror, but he has the Skyfields, Starmie, and Keldeo, so he has the innate advantage in the mirror. Game 1, I take it slow and steady, and I get an end to stick, and I win the game, because I cannot get ahead, because he's playing the Skyfield version, so he'll always get the turn 1 Blacksmith with, like, 3 Shamans and stuff. Game 2, I managed to get down to 1 prize, and I go Ultra Ball for Lele to find my Guzma and win the game, but the Guzma is my very last prize, and I think I just got inside my own head at this point, so I end him down to, I think, 2, and he needs to get Blacksmith Energy to win the game, and his 2 cards are Blacksmith Energy, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. We go to a game 3, and we're back in a similar situation where I end him down, and I need him to not hit Blacksmith for game, and then he goes Ultra Ball his hand away, Shaman for a full 6, Blacksmith for game, and I'm just like, okay, you got me. So that's how I lost my winner in. But I love the deck. I would not change a single card moving to Daytona. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sick, so I'm not going to talk too much else about it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, comment, etc. But thank you for the support and everything, and I will try to make more content eventually. Thank you so much. And I'm at 130 out of 400 points, I guess, for Worlds, and if I max out Cups, I'll be at 180. So I'm trying to get my invite by the end of November, ideally, but I want to get back from London. So I will be at Connecticut, I will be at Florida, I'm not going to San Jose, not going to Vancouver, and I will be in London. So thank you guys so much.